Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Handyman Graham. Today we have a really exciting DIY that you guys have probably seen a couple times on Alexandra's channel. It's the famous IKEA Hemnes shoe cabinet flip. Anybody can tackle this project at home. It's approachable, it's renter friendly, it's removable. So let's get started. I wanted to thank you guys for all of the love for the Murphy table in my apartment. I love making that table so much. I know we have a whole bunch of really fun videos coming your way soon, so hit that subscribe button. I have a really fun project for you today. We've done this so many times in the past. Austin's bedroom, where I made like a little wood topper for it. There's Jake and Laura's entryway DIY, where I literally cut one in half. We made two small Hemnes shoe cabinets, but more famously, we did a Hemnes shoe cabinet for Alexandra's entryway, where I made little sunglass and key dishes that sit on the side. I'm gonna be making a IKEA Hemnes shoe cabinet hack that's very similar to that, but instead of painting it, we are going to be vinyl wrapping it. Before we get started on building this cabinet, we first just have to draw it out. I'm gonna split up into 4 parts. The first one is gonna be vinyl wrapping the IKEA Hemnes cabinet. The second is installing the decorative wood top that I make from scratch. The third part's gonna be installing the pretty peg legs on the bottom. And the fourth and final part is gonna be installing it in my apartment. This just helps me get like an idea of what it's gonna look like, what tools I need, what materials I need to use. Just kind of gets the creative juices flowing a little bit. I was having a hard time like figuring out what to do with this because like I wanna make it look good, but I don't want it to be like so over the top and like too complicated for this space. I want to keep it simple, pretty straightforward, so that you guys at home can like go out and buy a Hemnes unit and like do the exact same thing. So this is new in box, unassembled. We have the vinyl wrap. We have this piece of wood that I found next to a dumpster. It is kind of the similar grain to the vinyl wrap, so I think it's gonna turn out perfectly for this. Next, I got these pretty peg legs. This is oak, so again, all the same wood grain, wood tones. I got this wireless charger. It's nice and thin, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna route out a little place, and we're going to just like hide that right beneath the surface, so you'll never know that there's a wireless charger there. That's pretty much it. I'm gonna assemble this Hemnes unit. I'm going to figure out how I'm gonna vinyl wrap it, and I'm gonna go from there. Okay, so the first thing we have to do is just roughly assemble the IKEA Hemnes cabinet, and this will just give me an idea of where I need to cut off the bottom leg. Because I have to cut off the leg first before I vinyl wrap the whole cabinet, just assembling it will allow me to see exactly where the cabinet ends and where the leg begins. Okay, so I have this like very loosely put together, but it's gonna be so much easier to individually wrap each piece. I think I have more than enough vinyl here to do that. I'm gonna get going. I'm gonna make note of what sides of the pieces are visible and really focus on making those edges or those faces of the boards like really well done. I'm just writing in and out, so anything that's facing outwards that's gonna be visible, I'm just putting out. Anything that's gonna be hidden, I'm putting in. And on that in edge, I'm gonna have the vinyl fold over and hide everything. I'm gonna draw a line here. And then that seam isn't gonna be visible. Gonna draw a line because that's where I can cut the leg off. I'm gonna use my miter saw. Yeah, measure twice, cut once, right? Okay, so I'm pretty confident that's where the leg's gonna be. I don't think I need to reassemble. The vinyl wrap I'm using for the IKEA Hemnes cabinet is from Lade, and it's in their natural oak color. Okay, 13 pieces. I've only ever done one, and that was the counter, so I'm a little nervous.
That's really bad. Take both hands, keep the hair in the hat.
I think I've got a little bit extra vinyl wrap, in case things go bad, but one of the good tips that people kept commenting on in the video is like, use a water spray gun and like wet everything, and then you can like kind of move the vinyl piece around, and then you squeegee out all the water and stuff, and I really, really wanted to try doing that, but if I were to vinyl wrap the pieces, and I'm like squeegeeing out the water and they go into the holes, then it might like get trapped in there and it might swell, kind of ruin the IKEA piece. So to apply the vinyl wrap, I'm just gonna use good old fashioned mite, I guess, or I don't know. I am feeling very patient today, which is great. I'm looking forward to this, seriously. This is gonna be awesome. Okay, so this is a horizontal piece. So immediately I know this is gonna be fun. It's very hard to unravel. This is awesome. Like they have the grid on the back. So you can just kind of line the piece up onto the grid and then cut with an X-Acto knife. Okay, this will make it easier. We got these holes here. I'll keep my eye out for. Boom. Ooh. Gonna grab a heat gun. Oh my God. Okay, first piece is done. That was actually pretty good. I think having a little bit of overlap is gonna be okay. I am blocking the holes right now, but I'm gonna just cut them out with the X-Acto knife. But that's okay. I'd rather the vinyl wrap kind of go over all the unseen edges as well to give it a really clean look. So this edge is never gonna be seen. So I'm just taking an X-Acto knife, a really nice sharp one. Okay, that looks amazing. Just gonna hit it with some heat. Wow, that is incredible. So I'm just making a plus sign with my knife. Gonna heat that up a bit. Poke my finger through. Boom. That works so well. That is hilarious. Boom. There we go. First done. Two. Ay, ay, ay. Ay, ay, ay. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, I think I have to come up with a better way of doing this. Oh, okay. Here we go. Wow, so much better. No more air bubbles. Okay, number 3 is done, and I have some tips for you. It's the paper on the back that makes this thing want to coil back into itself. So I'm gonna remove the paper. See? Now it lays nice and flat on its own. But I'm gonna put the paper on half of it. I'm gonna put it right back on. And now, I'll line this up using that graph paper on the back. Okay. Now I'm gonna squeegee out all the air bubbles. Nice and smooth. Peel the paper back a bit, fold it. Use the squeegee to go to the edge. Try to crease that vinyl wrap on that edge so that when I lift it, I'm gonna push away from that edge. Peel a little bit off, crease it again, peel a little bit more away. I'm just working my way to the outer edges. Just trying to work those air bubbles out. Nice and smooth. I think the beauty of doing it this way is that there are edges that won't ever be seen. So you can really focus on just the faces that are gonna be facing outwards. And you can use like the assembly like of the IKEA piece to hide all of this stuff. You know what I mean? So that was all the really big pieces. Now we just have like the smaller ones. Okay, I only have 4 more pieces and it's the doors. I'm gonna probably put these doors out and have one piece of vinyl kind of extend over all 4 doors so that the wood grain matches up from door to door to door. So this is all the vinyl wrap I have left. This is it. Like, do I vinyl wrap my phone right now? I don't know. The answer is yes. I am gonna vinyl wrap my phone right now. Some of the vinyl will have to wrap over the corners of the door pieces, which is okay. It'll just be a lot more manageable. I don't know if you guys remember, but when we first tried to do vinyl wrap for Nicole's kitchen, it was so difficult to do the counter in all one big piece.
This has been a really tough process. I feel like I'm on the verge of tears, but it's fine. It'll pass.
It's so sticky. It's so kind of like tricky to work with that if I break it up into smaller pieces, I think I'll actually enjoy the process. So now that all the pieces are vinyl wrapped, I'm putting the cabinet back together and putting the doors in place. Now it's time to build the wood topper. So while I'm out running on the sidewalk or driving around, I never really have my vlog camera with me. So it's really hard to catch a good dumpster find on camera. Dun, 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 dun. I can't believe I just found this in the garbage. Wow. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this, but I know it's gonna come in handy somewhere. Okay, so I'm gonna cut up this board. It's already kind of split right here. It's already like really flat, so I think I would just be able to fold it over like a book. So it makes a nice thick piece of wood for the cabinet top. Yeah, gonna get going, I guess. I don't know. Okay, so I don't know if you can see, but there's like big hole right here. There's a bunch of small screw holes. Definitely there's like a good side and a bad side to the wood. So rather than sanding all 4 sides all at once, I'm just gonna sand the bad side just to rough it up, get rid of the finish. I'm applying a healthy amount of wood glue here so I can glue the 2 sides together. I'm using a little silicone roller, which is really helpful for larger glue ups like this. And then I'm clamping everything together with as many clamps as I can find. The reason why I'm gluing these 2 pieces together is to create a more thick and robust piece of wood for the wood top. Okay, I'm back and I'm removing all the clamps. I'm really happy with how it turned out. It looks really seamless. I'm cleaning up the wood topper with my random orbital sander starting at 60 grit sandpaper. And then trimming off the unfinished sides with my table saw. And then I'm cutting it down to length using my miter saw. So just to make the design of the wood top look a little bit more elevated, I'm rounding the corners. I tend to use things that I have laying around. Here I'm using a roll of tape and I'm just using a pencil just to trace the semicircle on the corner so I can cut it off with a jigsaw. I don't think I'm at that point in my woodworking career where I can invest in those router guides and have them worthwhile. So this is just a really great tip for you guys that you don't need like an expensive tool in order to get really good results. So I'm doing multiple passes with the chamfer bit on the router here, each time just removing a little bit more material as I go. I'm trying to bring the angle of the chamfer right to the seam where the 2 pieces are sandwiched together. Each pass I'm doing, I'm removing more material, decreasing the actual surface area of the underside of the wood top, which is important to keep in mind because the underside of the tabletop is connecting to the IKEA piece. My tip for you guys here is keep your measurements in mind whenever you're doing something like this. It's very easy to remove material and very difficult to add it back on. Okay, so the top is pretty well done. I just need to sand it down a little bit. I'm gonna take the top piece from the Hemnes shoe cabinet, and I'm gonna use my drill, and I'm gonna drill through each one of these holes. I'm going to just copy the holes that are already on there so that I can attach this custom piece to the unit the same way that you would attach the factory top. To install the wireless charger on the underside of the wood top, I'm first tracing it with a pencil and then removing the material using my router with a straight shank router bit. If I didn't remove material from the wood top, the phone wouldn't be able to charge through the thickness of the wood. So I'm gonna try to put this wireless charger as close to the surface of the wood top as possible so that the phone can charge by sitting on top of it. Once everything's cut out, I'm cleaning everything up with 220 grit sandpaper on my sander. I'm attaching the wireless charger with a hot glue gun, but my intrusive thoughts got the best of me here a little bit, and I started using a torch to try to melt the hot glue. I would definitely not recommend this here. I don't know why I did this, but it's definitely not safe, and don't try this at home. Once the charger is glued in place, I'm applying some wood conditioner to really even out the stain. Wood conditioner here is definitely not necessary. Like, this is a very high quality piece of oak here, but I find wood conditioner makes the stain look way more consistent and a lot more professional. Okay, so I'm gonna just test out a couple different stains on the underside of the tabletop. While I'm using oak for all three wood aspects on the shoe cabinet, the wood top is just like a little bit of a different wood tone. So I'm gonna be using some wood stain to try to match the wood tone to the vinyl wrap as closely as possible. A tip for you guys here, if you're unsure of what color stain to go for, is choose a very inconspicuous area on the piece of wood. Here, for example, I'm doing it on the underside of the wood top, so no one will ever see any of these swatches. Stain always looks different on pine or cedar or whatever kind of wood yet you're using, so you always want to test swatches on your piece. Golden oak. Ooh, it's a little bit muted. Next we got weathered oak. Not at all what I was expecting. Oh, but it is like very nice. Tuscan. Quite red. English chestnut, quite a dark stain. Might be kind of cool. Wow, the grain is really popping on this one. Red oak, a little bit more of a reddish hue than the English chestnut. Early American gel stain. With gel stain, I wouldn't use a rag normally, but if you do use anything to apply it, you always go with the grain. Okay, lastly, dark walnut. A little bit more of like a grayish tint in there. It's like a dusty brown. Okay, here is the vinyl wrap that we're trying to match. Wow, you know what? No way. The golden oak, the gray stain that I was not expecting, actually looks like an exact match to the vinyl wrap. So I think it might be kind of neat just to match it. I'm just gonna remove all this painter's tape and get staining. Okay, so I did 2 coats of stain and it's all dry, so I'm gonna seal it with some shellac. I'm gonna be doing the sides and like the chamfer underneath, as well as the top face and a little bit of the bottom face. So I just need something that's gonna dry a little bit faster. Okay, while the cabinet top is drying, I'm gonna put on the pretty peg legs on the bottom of the unit. So pretty peg legs and the mounting brackets that they provide are fantastic for IKEA sofas and dressers and other large IKEA items. Ooh. But because I had to customize this piece so much, I literally cut the pre-existing leg right off of it. The mounting bracket that was supplied wouldn't allow me to put the leg exactly where I wanted to put it, which is directly center underneath that vertical support piece. So instead, I found some old brackets in my workshop and I just had to cut them down to size a little bit so I could put the leg exactly where I wanted to put it. I'm going to try to attach the leg right on the corner so it's spilling over the front and the side. I'm gonna be using these little brackets that I found in my cupboard, and I'm gonna cut them into like a little square. I'm gonna drill some holes, screw into the IKEA piece, and then we can secure the legs that way. It's not gonna be the strongest, but I'm also gonna be mounting this to the wall, so it's not gonna be moving side to side or anything, so I'm comfortable with it. Ooh. Wow, that looks awesome. The legs and the vinyl wrap are like almost a perfect color match. It's crazy. We're just about done. All that's left is to attach the wood topper to the unit. Unfortunately, the handles are at my apartment. They're not in the workshop, so I'm gonna put those on when we install it next week. So I just have to finish up by putting like the IKEA hardware on the top, and then I can install it right away. I'm just attaching it just like I would the factory IKEA top. Okay, I have to be honest, I did make an oopsies. This corner here is a little bit exposed. Because I put this massive chamfer on the underside of it, it like angled inwards, so that was a little bit of an oversight. This is gonna be butted up against the wall, and then the other side is gonna be a little bit exposed. But, you know, learning experience here, so I'm not too disappointed. I think it still looks really nice, and I'm really excited to install this in the entryway. Okay, so now everything's done. I'm ready to install. Okay, to finish off this cabinet, I have some antique brass little knobs from Plank Hardware. And after that, just have to mount it to the wall. I'm just gonna stab it from this side.
Because it already had a hole there?
Yeah. It was intentional. And then you just twist it.
But did you make that hole?
It was already on the IKEA thing. Wow, this is classy. Mounting this unit's actually really easy. There's a mounting bracket that spans the whole width of the unit on the back side. All you gotta do is just pop out the doors on the top. And IKEA's included like a hole if you wanna use an anchor. However, if you wanna go just a little bit further, I'm gonna find the stud on the wall, line it up, and then just put a little screw. You just need two. That's really solid. So I'm just gonna put power bar. I'm gonna mount it up top here. So it's all out of the way. It's tucked right in the back there, so it's not gonna come in contact with the drawers. Look, it's working. Pretty slick. So now it's time for the part of the video where I talk to you about what I've learned, what I could do better for the next time. I had the idea of just using one big piece of vinyl wrap and it would cover the entire Hemnes cabinet. I'd cut out where the doors are, then I'd wrap the doors individually. So when I was ordering the vinyl wrap, I didn't really account for me changing my plan, which I did, because when I got the Hemnes cabinet in person, I realized, hey, this is gonna be a lot easier if I just vinyl wrap every single individual piece rather than doing it all in one. I didn't account for the extra surface area that would be required. So my tip is calculate the surface area that you need by adding up all the individual pieces, and then you'll know for certain that you have like enough vinyl wrap. So my overall thoughts on this, I think it's fantastic. I use the wireless charger every day. I pop my AirPods on the charger. It's magnetic enough just for it to like slide into place. It looks fantastic. People don't realize that it's actually vinyl wrap. All the wood tones match so well. So I would say I give this one a nice 10 out of 10. So coming up, I'm gonna be vinyl wrapping my fridge and my kitchen. The fridge is like the perfect blank canvas for some more vinyl wrap. Can you believe that we're already over 60,000 subscribers on this channel? It's crazy. My goal for the end of the year is to reach 100,000 subscribers because I really wanna put that plaque right here. It's all thanks to you guys. Thanks so much for your support. Be sure to tell all your friends and family that are into woodworking or DIY projects about the channel, and hopefully you and they can learn something new. So thanks so much. Take care. See you next time. Bye.